Wow, I haven't filmed a video. Excuse how I look. I've got a hat on. I'm sweating. I've got a sweatshirt on. I'm sweating. But it's either sweat or get bit up by the mosquitoes. It's like 7:30. I've been out here. I got to watch night turn to day. I haven't done that in a while. So no, I didn't get any sleep. What's new? But I came out to the sacred circle. I got a bucket of flowers I just picked. I had a couple of limbs down. I come down and this was down. And I'm gonna need to leaf blow. I did get one of the trees down, front, but I'm gonna have to get that cut. For the time being, I'll probably just put a pot over it or something like that, because like that it is kind of dangerous. I haven't really worked on the teepee. I've been all over. I have been just all over the yard and trying to get stuff done in the house, and of course that's not really working out that well. I did get some shells, and as you see, the flowers are just, I'm gonna probably plant some over in that. I just got some, but I am so impressed with how I think it's actually gonna grow into the star, which I'm fine with. I really am. I cannot thank my daughter enough for building this. And in fact, I told her that I think I would like her to. I've got the little altar table in the middle over at Luna's Circle. I think I want her to we'd have the table like that in the middle. I think I want her to do, I mean, I'd have to walk over the rocks. It wouldn't be as convenient as this one is. So I don't know. We'll see. She didn't seem to be really that thrilled about it. I should have put that over there in Miracle's little area. Maybe I will later. But I did my Black Moon. There was absolutely 0%. I think there was like 6% last night. But people all over the world are saying that the moon looks funny. But I'm not having that problem here. The moon doesn't look weird at all here. So I really don't. There's some poison ivy, of course. I can't win. This is gonna, I'm letting the ferns grow. I've already decided. I'm gonna let this all fill in because that's what those little things are. And then this whole area will be ferns. There is some flowers growing up in here. I must have dropped some. But I'm gonna let the ferns grow. I'm gonna get this stuff, these little stumpy things. I got somebody I'm gonna have help me do some stuff that I can't do. My leg isn't working out because the clip, where the clip goes in, or the wedge, the wall's too low, and they took, widthwise, they took half of it away, and they took the side that goes around the back of my knee, and they did it on the other side too, widthwise. And the back, instead of cutting it at an angle, they did like two U's with two U's and then an upside down U, and it's just not working out. And the back wall isn't built up. None of it is built up. The leg is really thin, and I think what's happening is because I'm so active and I can literally push the wall out with my hand. I know that that's what's happening. I'm swollen in the morning, okay? By the end of the day, because I've been working or walking, especially if I'm hiking out here or like lifting up my leg, doing some physical activity, I fall to the bottom onto the tibia bone and it hurts really bad. I kind of think I might have, I'm not going to say I have a hairline fracture, but the tibia bone feels kind of weird. It feels like there's a divot in it, and I don't remember that. Now, you got to remember this accident happened to me 44 years ago. Next June will be 45. So that's 44 years with my tibia bone has absolutely no muscle tissue, never has, just skin. And any type of sock pull sends me to whatever. And when I'm also on the bottom, there's pressure on the fibula, and that's what is making that weird. It's like my foot falls asleep feeling. There's too much pressure on the bottom because there's not enough on top. First of all, he took half my walls away width-wise, the clip and the non-clip. Both those walls have to be the same height, and they have to be built up to hold me up. The clip does its job, and then on the other side, they usually build it up. It's as thin as can be. I can bend it. I probably could break it. That's way too thin, and it's not built up. The back, because it's like a U and then an upside down U and then a U, I am not getting any support. It needs to be cut at an angle like they've always done it, and the top part of the back needs to be built up. I also think the tendon bar still needs to be a little bit more aggressive. He has to understand that I can't take any weight on the bottom. So the clip and the opposite wall, it has to be super tight to hold me up there. All right. My condyle has always been covered with part of the leg and part of the clip. In his leg, it's free. The clip has been cut so it's not moon shaped. Only one end of it is moon shaped, and it's like they cut. So I have to bring that up, that the clip has to be a half moon and has to be where it's supposed to be. What is good is his cap actually fit in the leg Chris made me. And you can see how low the cap is compared to Chris's leg. So I will be able to show him why it's too low and what's going on. Unfortunately, the foot shell is broke because I was left with no temporary leg to wear. They took one of my temporary legs up, my old leg, we can call it temporary, apart, and it's two, as Tom put it, it's two females, so he can't put it together. So I have to find out what happened to the part. And the other leg is gone. I should have, they took the pylon, they took the foot, but I should still have the top part and should still be able to put it on a pylon since it's not a finished leg with a foam cover and skin. I need to ask him if he could please tell me, did you throw out my other leg? Because you took the foot and the pylon, but there would have been the top part. He won't talk to me, which is pissing me off. He absolutely refuses to call me back. I left him 2 very important messages and then one with the secretary. And he won't talk to me. We got to go to amputee clinic. So I'm going to just lay it on the line. This is how it has to be done, or it's not going to work. Now, I've spent a year with him, and the first leg he made was the best leg he made. Except I think what happened is because the sides, there was really no tendon bar. So I wasn't getting any front to back lift, and I wasn't getting any clip lift because the other side is thin as a rail. He doesn't know how to do this. That's the biggest problem. He doesn't make legs like this. So I'm teaching him, basically. This is what's happening. And like every other prosthetist, he's getting frustrated because this will be the fourth attempt. Well, at least I can show him what's wrong because his cap is very close to Chris's leg, which was a duplicate of the last leg Bob made me, and the only leg that came out of Nelson's that actually worked. The legs Don made me were never right. I could never wear the movable ankle one, and if you look at it, the cap is crooked, and all weird. I don't think Greg made it. That's the problem. I think somebody else made that one. Because Greg wouldn't make a cap like that. But regardless, I can show him what's wrong, which would be nice. He can see his cap in my old leg so he can see how high the walls are and that this is going to be a problem. Now, if I can just get him to make the tendon bar more aggressive, the top of the back wall more aggressive, and explain to him they need to be that way, and if wherever you're sending him to won't do that way, maybe you could send it to Nelson's, because Greg can do it that way. And I'm going to tell him Everett's did it that way. Marietta did it that way. Everybody I went to pretty much made the socket the similar shape, except for the VA. I'm going to say Tim's leg was U-shaped in the back, and the clip was monstrous. It wasn't right. And it's about the fit, and it's about the shape. And if you don't shape the leg the way it's supposed to be shaped, you don't add material. I don't know what it would be, plaster, I guess. It's not wood anymore, the top. I don't know, something. You have to make the top aggressive so it squeezes my condyles, above my condyles, behind my kneecap, and what they call the tendon bar, which is right below the kneecap. Basically, it needs to be squeezed like your life depended on it. When you first wear a leg, it really hurts, and it really never goes away. You just get used to dealing with being squeezed. So if I'm not pulling my clip when I sit or I'm in a car, and I don't have aggressive red marks, then I know that the leg isn't tight enough. And that's exactly what's happening. And I'm falling to the bottom, and I'm falling on my tibia bone, and it hurts. And I also think I've got something going on with my tibia bone because, well, it's been 44 years, and I did dance like hell and did a lot of stuff in my younger years that probably beat the hell out of it. And then, of course, they don't teach how to make this. Now, the only other alternative I would have is having him try something new. But what I've seen is it's a sleeve. There's no clip. You put a rubber sock on, and then you put a sleeve on. So there's no upper suspension. You're walking on the bottom, and I can't do that. It looks like a pin lock system without the pin. There's no clip. It doesn't really look like there's any areas that are aggressive to hold you up. I believe it's just like suction. And the people that are wearing this, their stumps don't look like mine. The people who have stumps that look like mine are wearing very strange legs. Their legs don't have a cover. Their legs don't have skin. Their top part is like the American flag, and then you see the pipe in the foot, and the foot isn't a foot. Like, there's no foot shell. It's like U-shaped. Like the runners, the amputees that run, they make legs like that, which I probably would benefit from, but I don't want to look like that. I want to have toes so I can wear sandals and paint my toes. And the fact of the matter is, if this style is made correct, it works for me. And I really don't think I'm asking that much. And I am going to tell him I was disappointed that he didn't call me back and talk to me. And I'm going to say, if you're too frustrated, I'll go back to Tim. I'll see if Tim will work with me in Syracuse or go to Batavia. You know, if you're to the point where you're frustrated, and I told you this wasn't going to be easy, and I really needed you to talk to me. I needed to show you this. I wanted to come in and show you, because we never discussed lowering the clip wall. We never discussed shortening the width of either side of the leg. I discussed I wanted the back wall low, but not the way you did it. I want it done at an angle like it's always been done, and unfortunately it's too low. You can't expect the back wall to hold me up when it's low here, high here, and low here. it's not going to give me any lift. That's why they did it at an angle. They had it high on one side, and they lowered the area that bothered me. But I'm going to tell him, even I believe Chris's leg is too low now because there's something going on with my tibia bone. And I just had an x-ray and they didn't see anything. So I might ask to have another x-ray and see if there's something going on. So I am a little worried about that. So I did some spells last night, or I should say the night of the black moon. My daughter's been sick. She can't be around mold or mildew, and there was some mildew in my son's camper, and they had her in there doing stuff to help them. You know, they needed to get it ready. They had to spend the night in it, and then he had to get it set up for the 4th of July. So Aunt KK got stuck cleaning. And Aunt KK, I'm going to have to put my foot down with Tommy because, well, she don't have any insurance. And she's sick now. And she's been sick for almost a month. This is part of the reason I had to move out of the last house we were renting. There apparently was mold. Nobody else was affected by it, but she was. So, and these mosquitoes are awful. I mean, I think it's going to rain. It's getting damp. That's why I'm sweating to death and have the hat on. But I haven't done a video, so I wanted to give everybody an update on what I've been doing. Sorry I look at it. For some reason, well, I probably do have bags and discoloration under my eyes. I didn't sleep. And this phone just makes me look, and of course I'm sweating, so I'm not taking my hat off. I'm going to color my hair, and as everybody's noticed, it's no longer blonde. Well, I had to have quite a bit cut off. The blonde's just too harsh. So I don't want to go back to a total burgundy. Oh, I think this is so pretty. I really need to work on it some more. But I'll give everybody my homemade fence. This is my gifting tree. Basically, when I have extra food, this is where I bring it. And I have our neighbor has a whole bunch of kittens and cats that she just lets run. So, well, they're getting fed over here because I believe they're coming over here. Well, one day, the kids were here. I started it when they were here. We were like playing pirates. And there was that when he first met the Calypso, she was like in an island little thing. I need to fix that, and then I need to get rid of these. I need to bring a hammer out here. I have a whole bunch more, but my idea is I want to make it like, a little fence. And then I did rocks, and I put food here. I gotta get this cut and get it out of here because it was in the way, and now it's pretty much dead. I don't know if there's something living in it, but anytime I put food, and if you look, you can tell that there's something bedding down back here. This is poison ivy and something else, but to the animals, it's probably comfortable. And in there are wild berry bushes, especially over there. Behind those trees is berry bushes. So I think they're bedding down in here. And I think it starts all the way over there where that clearing is. I think they bed down here. And they can also hide in there, and they have a food source. So I'm assuming it's animals with all the branches that are bent this way and that way. You never. I'm still on the fence if I think I have Sasquatch out here, and I'm pretty sure I do. And they don't seem to mind. Like, something apparently either broke that or ate it. But I think it's cute. Little path down to this gifting tree, and I usually do it at night. So I figured, well, I got a path. As long as I stay in between those sticks, I don't have to worry about falling into there or whatever. I was looking for rocks, digging rocks out, and I found that tree, and this is what led me to making this the kids' play area. I still haven't raked it. I have to rake it. Um, and obviously I have to work on the teepee. I keep asking them to help me. What is interesting though is all the little flowers that Faith planted. Most of them are growing. Like right behind the chair, they're growing. They're growing in with the poison ivy over there. Yeah, I got poison ivy creeping in. I'm probably going to spray it with vinegar first. Spray it with vinegar, and then the air, obviously not that's a flower she planted, and now there's poison ivy. The star shape. See, this is what gets me. It says Lisa 3, and honestly, that looks like a pot leaf to me, but it is poison ivy because I get aggravated when I touch it. And look at this. It got a whole line. Oh, this is just not cool. Literally, at least it's going this way. I have a whole thing of it starting from the one area of the teepee going all the way up. That's poison ivy or poison oak, one of them. So I got to get that out of here. And I still need to get these two little trees cut. And I gotta find trees this time. We're not doing little sticks. I'm doing it. They gotta be tall and kind of thick because I want to be able to stand up in this teepee. So, but I still think this area is neat because of the fact that there's four trees and it makes a square. It looks like you're building a house. I mean, it looks like a play area. Once I rake it and get rid of the poison ivy and maybe get, like I said, I wanted to put a slide here, one of those plastic slides, and maybe a couple of those little tyke houses, because Miracle is gonna go wander and play and do things, but her sisters are too little to do that. So if they have playhouses with tea sets and stuff, they'll play in here. And then of course we can have our little tea party or whatever in the teepee. And then Miracle built her fort over there, so she's still close. I told her she had to be in my peripheral vision wherever she was, and she's really good about it. I miss them very much. And on another note, Ash and Jazz are done. They tried to work it out and it didn't work out. She's back in California, and Jamila is potty trained. She's 3. She's wearing underwear at night and out in public, so I'm really proud. Jazz is a good mom. Jaslyn is a very good mother. She has always been a good mother. So Ashton, I gotta give him a call. He has not talked to me since they split. I have not talked to him, and I'm really angry about that. I wish he would talk to me. I mean, things happen. My first marriage didn't work out, but he's just, I don't know. There is a candle in there. Okay, hang on. Sorry, everybody. I should have left next time I do this, I'm going to leave the lids on them. I put these little candles in my pumpkins, my Halloween pumpkins, and they don't hurt, they don't burn, and I'm actually using my glow-in-the-dark necklace to hang it. It worked out really great, and even though the liquid is done, you can still kind of see it. I think the sun does something. I still have a pile over there, and like I said, I got to bring the leaf blower out here and start blowing leaves already, and it's only the middle of July, well, the end of July, I guess. I didn't go to the Pagan Festival this year. $300, fuck that. I am not going to a festival for one day, and not even a day. Get there at 2, wander around, buy some stuff, eat some stuff, stay for the fire. $300. Whether you're camping for the week, I guess it's $250 if you're staying Friday, Saturday, and then leaving on Sunday. And there is a lot of people who are not going anymore because of this. And one of them is me. Nibor and Elsbeth, when they did Tom and my hand fasting, they said that there were changes coming. that they didn't agree with, and that they were going to they had bought land in Virginia, and they were going to start having their own festival because they didn't agree with the changes that were coming. It used to be if you wanted a day pass, it was uh, $19 to come in and shop. If you were going to stay for the fire, then it was 25. So it was 25 because we were going to stay for the fire. Then it got moved to 40. Okay, that's still reasonable. Then the next year it was 60. Well, now that's 120 because it's me and Tom. It's not 60 a couple, it's 60 per person. Then the last year we went, it was $80. And Tom said $160 to wander around to buy junk that you don't need. That's just him. And we can have a fire. And now that I have this place, and this is gonna get turned into a fire pit. He's going to buy a metal thing, and it will be controlled, and he will be out here when I have a fire. So, I think that'll be really nice. And then we have an area and a chimera by the house. And my friends across the street have fires all the time. So I don't need to be spending $300, which would be $600, to spend a day wandering around. And then it went commercial. It's not about Wicca anymore. It's not about the spirit like they talk about it. And I noticed too, a lot of people stopped going, and a lot of vendors stopped going. Vendors that I liked were no longer there because they didn't want to pay the prices that they wanted to stay the week. And I think it's sad because Sirius Rising was one of the biggest pagan festivals in New York, and capitalism and everything that's happening to our country ruined it. And it's not Brushwood. Brushwood has nothing to do with it. It's the people that run Sirius Rising, because the people that have campsites there, they have to pay the $300 or they have to leave, and most of them leave because there is a lot of nudity, and this is a family camping area, so, and there's dope smoking and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's just a shame though, because they took something that was special, something that I looked forward to, and ruined it. Capitalism at its best. And I watched a video last night that kind of summed it up, what's happening. And what is happening, Britain fell. Britain lost control of us, and then we rose, okay? Well, now we're falling. China's the one that's rising right now, and China is allied with Russia, Afghanistan, Arabia, Dubai, all that area. And with the warlords, or whatever you want to call them, that took over Afghanistan. So you've got Afghanistan, Iran, Russia, China, I keep saying Arabia, but I can't think of the name. Basically, you got the Middle East, Russia, and China aligned. And they're about ready to start their own currency. China already got rid of money, and they did it very cruel. People lost their life savings. If you speak out against the government, you lose your money. They freeze it or take it away. If you get a bonus, you have like so many days to spend the money. You can't save money anymore. You get paid, you spend it, you buy your goods, and you're not allowed to buy certain things. Like if you live in a certain town and you go to visit your mom, say, and they say it's a suspicious charge because they know you don't live there. It's really fucked up. I feel really bad for the Chinese people, but China is in the running right now, and we can't get out of this having a war because we will lose. Yes, we have the best military in the world. The problem is our military doesn't have the best equipment in the world because we left most of it in Afghanistan. And now our enemies have our equipment and obviously have sold it off. And if China's done anything, they've taken our designs and made it better because that's what China does. China's leading in the AI. China's leading in a lot, whether their citizens want it or not. I do feel bad for the people of China. I don't agree with how they did the stuff that they did, and I do feel very bad for the Chinese people. But the fact of the matter is, for the people running the show, you know, China's number one right now. Where does that leave us? This guy said it started in the 70s. As soon as I think he said it was 78, as soon as we didn't make, as soon as the what you got paid, basically the cost of living, whatever, as soon as the cost of living increase went higher than what you were getting paid, your cost of living increase is when America's decline started. When both the wife, the mother, and the father had to go to work, which left children, well, like me, the latchkey kids, on our own. And then the next generation, they all had to have nannies or whatever because they couldn't be trusted to open a can of soup and make it on the stove because, well, we didn't have microwaves. It was like we were the last sensible generation of preteens and teenagers. After that, they just didn't seem to be able to function, and they had more technology than we could have ever dreamed of, which doesn't make any sense. This guy, I forgot the name of the program, but man, it really summed shit up for me. And it scared me. We don't really have a whole lot of savings, me and Tom. And no, we have a mortgage, a new mortgage. And he did it. We had to 15 years because of our age, so it's a hefty mortgage payment, which comes with taxes. And unfortunately, the house that we now own, that we can't live in, that I put my life savings into, we have to sell because we're paying taxes on a property we can't live in. We got into a snit. I should have done things differently. I should have borrowed against the money I had and just paid a home improvement loan off. I would have had the house and I would have had my money. So when the house flooded and I lost the house, at least I'd still have my money. I should have did it the way my mom told me to do it. But did we ever really listen to our parents? No. I thought paying cash for everything was best, not accruing credit card debt or debt. Because my grandparents had me scared to death of credit cards. Well, I wish I still was scared to death of credit cards because I'm carrying a pretty good chunk of credit card debt. And it seems like every month I have something that slides, and then the next month I have a double payment. And of course, now they've jacked the interest rates up. It used to be if you didn't pay something, it was like $25. Some places it's $45, and then if it continues, they can actually apparently charge you that fee until they feel whatever. That hasn't happened to me, but I think it's because I'm actually. It's not going more than a month. There's just some months where I wanted to do things, I wanted to buy things, so, I would like these Android chairs. I'd like some new ones. At the beginning of the summer, Dollar General had them for $24. Every time we went there, we had my truck, and there was no way to fit Antarodic. Well, we could have, but Tom just wasn't into doing it. So, and now, they're gone, and I won't buy anything like that from Walmart. Whoops. But these are the flowers I'm planting today. Aren't they beautiful? So they're getting planted around, and then of course I'm planting some more of that stuff that I planted in the star. It's forget-me-nots. I call them bluebells because I just don't, they're a beautiful flower, and I just don't like the name forget-me-nots. Somebody loved these flowers because they are everywhere. My backyard is turning into one big field of forget-me-nots. It's like, I really wish Casey wouldn't mow it and just, let it all become flowers. But I'm gonna plant as I'm putting it down. This is where I'm gonna plant it. It's doing good everywhere but on this side. So before it rains, because I can feel it, I'm gonna get going so I can plant these flowers. I would really like a cup of coffee, and I need to add a sock for my leg, but it is better. I said some prayers. I asked my retired prosthetist, who's now passed away, to give me some help, and he kind of did in his own way. Um, sock came in my mind, and I've been cutting some socks because I can't wear. They have more gel on the bottom, but it's a double ply sock, and I can't get all the way into my socket. So what I was doing is I was cutting it at the top and peeling the extra sock away. So it was just one sock and the gel. Well, by doing that, it made the sock shorter. So what was happening as I was wearing the leg during the day, I was getting sock pull because the sock was going, like it will do, going farther down into the leg, but because it was short. So I fixed that, and I'm pretty sure I know everything that's wrong. And if he just listens to me, and I guess I gotta quit being the friendly Tammy, you know, I'm just gonna look at him and say, if you would have called me back and let me come in, I could have showed you what's wrong. And then I'm going to say, we never discussed lowering the clip. We never discussed lowering that wall. We never discussed shortening it widthwise. And this is what's happened, and this is why it's not working. Second, the prosthesis is too thin. I'm bowing it out. I could take this right now and break it with my hand. So while I'm climbing over trees and squeezing my stump, because when you do stuff like that, that's how you have to do it. You have to squeeze your stump. I'm bowing it out. Well, if you're bowing it out, you're falling deeper down, which is putting pressure on the tibia bone, because all the walls are too low, and the back wall needs to be built up at the top, and the opposite wall of my clip at the top needs to be built up. If he just would do these things and understand my terminology when I say I want you to shave out the back wall, I don't mean I want you to lower it. I mean I want you to take a Dremel and shave the spot that's bothering me. But because he refused to call me back, okay, I left him 2 messages on his private answering machine. I got a phone call from the secretary that he wasn't in and that he would call me on Friday. On Friday at 2:30, mind you, I get a call from her, you got to go to amputee clinic. Okay, great. And I said, well, I'd still like to come in and show him what's wrong. And I said, I don't have a leg to wear. I said, the leg I'm wearing has a broken foot shell. I said, I can't wear this leg. I can't fix it with pads because there's nothing to put pads on. That's part of the problem. She was very sympathetic, but he never called me. He never called me, and I'm going to tell him that it upset me. It upset me that you wouldn't talk to me. It upset me that you wouldn't let me come in and show you, especially because this cap, his cap, fits the old leg so well. He can see what I'm talking about. Plus, it tells me we're really close because his cap fit in basically Bob's remade leg. And nobody's done that. I have never been able to take another cap and stick it in one of Bob's legs and have it work. So it's just these few little issues. The issue that, and the biggest issue is they don't have a Greg. The biggest issue is Nelson has an in-house fabricator. They have to send the leg out to a fabricator, and there lies the problem. He's writing stuff down, and then it goes with the leg. A secretary reviews it, puts it in the computer, and it goes to the fabricator. If somebody between him writing it, which means his secretary rewrites it because she's typing it, it goes to that place. That secretary looks it over, types whatever she's got to type, and it goes to the fabricator. Now, what could go wrong? Quite a bit. Twos look like fives. The last time this happened, when I went to Syracuse, I got the leg back and it didn't work and it didn't work, and Eileen wouldn't listen to me. She finally went and got the check socket and discovered that the finished socket had 25 degrees deflection in it. No way the leg was going to work, and it had nothing to do with me. And she never apologized. She's not a processist anymore, and it's probably a good thing. I don't think she'll ever watch it. I mean, I like Eileen. We worked through that, but this is what happens, you know, and this guy is so close, and I'm going to lead with that. I'm going to tell him, you are so close, but you're already getting frustrated. And I'm going to tell him, you can't get frustrated. You just can't. I am not an easy fit because my stump is weird shaped. The front is longer on the left side, shorter on the right. There's nothing around my tibia bone or my fibula. The back is all skin grafted skin from my foot, so I have ravines and reservoirs from the stitches when they stitched everything together. So you got to remember, my accident happened in 1982. They couldn't... Oh, shit. I got to go. The rain's here. Oh, damn. I was hoping I get these flowers in. Anyway, I have a video up there, and apparently this video is about my leg. But I'm making headway with the yard. I'm making headway with the outdoor projects. Not so much with the indoor. I really need to vacuum my bedroom. Siri's shutting. He's popping out right now. And no luck with the puppy, although Kiana had a dream about her. She wouldn't talk too much about it, but if Kiana's dreaming about a puppy, then that means she's not too far away. She didn't like me using Dakota's name or Dustin's or Dukie's name. So it's still Linara Andreas Moon. I've come up with Andreas. I don't know where Andreas came from. Or Linara Sage Moon. I also like Sage Moon. I really did like the Sierra Moon. But she doesn't want to directly... Like, Lee is kind of from Dusty. Nara is from Naria. At first I wanted to do Naria. But Naria just sounds too much like Naria. Naria. You know... You're just pronouncing the same name differently. So, but I'm gonna get soaked here. I just wanted to, I'll give everybody a look of everything that's going on. The paths look really good. I'm really happy with the paths. And my candles are gonna die, but oh, the sound of the rain. And I got a really pretty picture of the spider. I don't know if I got a video. I don't think I did. And I don't know if I can put pictures on the channel. I haven't figured out how to do that. So I got to go look up spider energy. But I got to get this phone put away. Everybody have a blessed day. And the next ritual I do, I'm going to try to have Luna Circle set up. I still haven't got the candle holders and it's set up. It's clean. I just need to scrub the furniture and finish setting it up with candles and little knickknacks. I don't even have all the knickknacks out here yet. My little fairies and stuff. And here we are at the end of July. But I guess that's the way it goes. I just end up with so many outdoor projects, and I'm working here one day. I'm trimming one day. I'm weeding one day. It's just that's how it goes. But I am very, very happy with this little bit of heaven that I've created for myself. And, oh, is that thunder? I hope it's not. All right, I'll talk to everybody. Have a good day. Blessed be.